I'm still trying to figure out if I was in the wrong for being brutally honest with my brother's fiance, Rachel. It's been 6 months since she got engaged to my younger brother, Mike, and our entire family has been struggling to connect with her. From the outside, Rachel seems like a nice person, polite, friendly, and all that. But whenever we're all together, it's like she's trying too hard to fit in, and it comes across as insincere. I think what really gets under our skin is that she takes everything so seriously. Our family's always been about joking around and teasing each other, but Rachel can't seem to take a joke. She gets offended at the smallest things, and it's like she's constantly walking on eggshells around us. So, I'm 28 years old, and my younger brother Mike, who's 26, got engaged to his girlfriend Rachel, who's 25, about 6 months ago. At first glance, Rachel appears to be a decent person. She's courteous, approachable, and generally gets along with most people. She's the type of person who always says please and thank you, and she's always smiling. But despite her pleasant exterior, there's something about her that rubs our entire family the wrong way. And it's not because of the typical reasons you might think, like she's mean or lazy. No, it's something more subtle than that. It all began when Rachel first met our family. We're a pretty quirky bunch, and our humor can be a bit offbeat. We love to tease each other and joke around, but it's always lighthearted and meant in good fun. However, Rachel didn't seem to get it. She took every joke, every tease, and every playful jab to heart. She'd get visibly offended, her face would fall, and she'd sulk like a kid who didn't get their way. We thought maybe she just needed some time to adjust to our family's dynamic, to learn that we didn't mean any harm. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, things only got worse. She continued to take everything so seriously, and it started to feel like we were walking on eggshells around her, never knowing what might set her off. It was like clockwork. Every single family gathering, Rachel would somehow manage to shift the spotlight onto herself. If someone mentioned their job, she'd interrupt with a story about how her work was so much harder, so much more stressful. If we were swapping funny childhood stories, she'd cut in with a tale of how her childhood was so much tougher, so much more traumatic. It didn't matter that we were just joking around. She'd find a way to make it about her. And it wasn't just conversations. She even tried to alter our traditional holiday plans because they didn't align with her vibe. Yes, you read that right. She actually used the phrase "my vibe" when explaining why she couldn't possibly participate in our family's long-standing holiday traditions. It was like she thought she was the only one who mattered, like her feelings and needs were the only ones worth considering. The last straw came on Thanksgiving Day, when Rachel decided to take it upon herself to improve my mom's cooking. My mom, who's an amazing cook, had spent all morning preparing a delicious feast, but Rachel, in her infinite wisdom, thought she knew better. She started adding her own spices to one of the dishes without even asking my mom if it was okay. And when my mom found out, she was livid. Rachel had the nerve to act like she was doing us a favor, like she was somehow elevating my mom's cooking to new heights. But really, it was just insulting. It was like she thought my mom's cooking wasn't good enough, like she needed Rachel's expertise to make it palatable. The whole thing was just so arrogant and dismissive, and it really showed us what Rachel was all about. After months of dealing with Rachel's behavior, Mike finally confronted me about why our family seemed so distant with her. I guess he couldn't help but notice the tension whenever we all got together. So, I took a deep breath and told him the truth. I explained that we'd all tried really hard to like her, to welcome her into our family, but she just kept making it impossible. I told him how she constantly stepped on everyone's toes, how she didn't seem to care about our family's feelings or traditions. I shared how her behavior at family gatherings had been really off-putting, how she always managed to make everything about herself. I tried to be kind but honest, hoping that Mike would finally see things from our perspective. Big mistake. Mike went and told Rachel everything I said, and she completely lost it. She called me, sobbing uncontrollably, claiming that I'd single-handedly ruined her relationship with our family. She said she didn't feel welcome anymore, like we were all against her. And to make matters worse, Mike is now furious with me, saying I should have just kept my mouth shut and let things be. He's taking her side, saying I was too harsh, too critical. But my parents, bless them, are staying out of it. They're not saying much, but I can tell they don't disagree with what I said. They've seen the way Rachel behaves, and they know I'm not making it up. Still, the whole thing is a mess, and I'm not sure how to fix it. Things have really blown up now. Mike went and repeated everything I said to Rachel, and she totally flipped out. She called me, bawling her eyes out, and accused me of sabotaging her relationship with our family. She claimed that I've made her feel unwelcome and like an outsider. And to make matters worse, Mike is now livid with me, saying I should have just kept my thoughts to myself and not spoken up. He's taking Rachel's side, saying I was too blunt and too critical. But my parents, wisely, are staying neutral, refusing to take sides. However, I can tell they don't entirely disagree with what I said. They've witnessed Rachel's behavior firsthand and know I'm not exaggerating. Still, the situation is a huge mess, and I'm not sure how to fix it or make things right again. Story 2. No one likes you when you're 23, but what about 33? I'm turning 33 soon, and it's got me thinking no one likes you when you're 23, but what about when you're 33? I've heard that saying before, but it's only now that I'm facing the reality of it. At 23, I thought I had my whole life ahead of me, but now, a decade later, I feel like I've squandered it. I'm still trying to figure out who I am, what I want, and where I'm going. It's like I'm stuck in limbo, watching my peers move forward with their lives while I'm still trying to find my footing. Hey Reddit community, I'm reaching out from an alt account because I live in a small town where everyone knows my name or has heard stories about me. I'm turning 33 soon, and honestly, I'm feeling lost and desperate. My depression has hit rock bottom, and I don't know how to climb out of this dark hole. It's been 3 years since I made the biggest mistake of my life. I let go of the most amazing relationship I could have ever asked for. I pushed away my partner, my friends, and basically everyone who cared about me. I thought I was doing the right thing at the time, but now I realize I was just running from my problems. Since then, I've been living in self-imposed isolation, unable to face the world or myself. And to make matters worse, I've had to move back in with my parents, who constantly remind me of my failures and shortcomings. Every day feels like a reminder that I've wasted my potential and thrown away my chances at happiness. At the time, I was consumed by a toxic mix of emotions, hatred, anger, and resentment. I hated myself, my circumstances, and the world around me. I felt like everything was against me, and everyone was out to get me. I was so filled with hate that I couldn't see the good in anything or anyone. My girlfriend, bless her heart, tried everything to keep me from drowning in my own darkness. She was patient, kind, and understanding, but I just pushed her away. I was too far gone to appreciate her efforts, and all I did was drag her down with me. Now, as my 33rd birthday approaches, I'm flooded with regrets and what-ifs. I wish I could turn back the clock and go back to being the carefree, outgoing person I once was. I miss being the social butterfly who lit up the room with my presence. But that person was slowly suffocated by the hate and anger that took over every aspect of my life. I'm left wondering what could have been if I had only found a way to let go of all that negativity and embrace love, kindness, and compassion instead. But every time I try to muster up the courage to go out and reconnect with others, to make new friends and start anew, I'm immediately overwhelmed by the memories of my past mistakes. I'm flooded with thoughts of how selfish, hurtful, and toxic I was, and how I ruined relationships and pushed away people who truly cared about me. The guilt and shame are suffocating, and I end up retreating to the safety of my bed, wishing I could just disappear. I feel like I'm trapped in this never-ending cycle of self-loathing and regret. I don't know how to escape, and I don't know what to do. I long for professional help, for someone to guide me through this darkness, but I can't afford a therapist. I don't even have health insurance. So I'm turning to you, dear Reddit community, in desperation. I'm hoping against hope that someone, anyone, will tell me that I'm not a lost cause, that I'm worth saving, and that I can find redemption and start anew. Right now, that's all I can think about, that I'm a failure, and that I don't deserve a second chance.